Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 to how the Coyotes get a huge win 3-2 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Their best game on this road trip so far. They're 2-1-1 on this road trip. One more game against Winnipeg Saturday. That's going to be a huge pivotal game in terms of the Central Division standings. I thought it was the Coyotes their best game since Montreal. Yes, it's been this long. And I was ready. I was ready to go into them. I haven't liked the way the Coyotes have been playing lately. It's been about a 6 game stretch. They still manage to get wins, against Nashville, a point against Dallas. They won against Seattle in that stretch. I really didn't like. But this game was a really good palate cleanser against the Blue Jackets. Just a game where a lot of good things were happening. Liked the way they played. They were into the game the moment the puck dropped. They showed a lot of energy and speed. Sure, some concerns here and there, but generally I thought it was a really good game. Now, the only negative being was that it was against the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are struggling hard. Last place in the East, I believe. They're 4-9-4. But again, it's a team that has lost 6 straight, the Blue Jackets have, and they're coming home and they're playing at home. So they're going to be desperate and urgent to get a win to stop the losing skid they were on. But the Coyotes on the road managed to get a really huge win before a big game against Winnipeg. So let's get into it. Injury news. This video is going to have a lot of talking about injuries, but Valimaki is week to week after that slap shot to the face against Dallas. So you add Valimaki to a list of Dermott and McBain, who are listed week to week as well. We're losing a lot of depth. Again, if the Coyotes lost this game in bad fashion, I was going to lay into how, these injuries, sure, they don't look like they're huge on paper, but, how Andre Tourigny likes to run this team, we're relying and maybe playing too much of certain players, but they won, so I won't go into that. The game starts pretty good. I like the Coyotes' energy. They had a couple big shifts immediately to start the game. The second line was buzzing with a lot of high danger chances. The third line with Cooley, Zucker, and Carcone followed up with a good shift. And then again, that line disappeared for most of the game. But not going to be so negative on them this video. Kesselring took the place for Valimaki. He was playing on a line with Dumba. Didn't really like Kesselring and Dumba in this first period. A lot of turnovers. They were walking around Kesselring. Dumba looked a bit shaky, but I thought as the game went on, they were starting to get more comfortable with each other and playing better. And in the last minute of the game, we saw Dumba on the ice. So obviously, Andre Tourigny thought the same thing. Ingram with a huge big save already in this first period, flashes the glove on a 2-on-1. Ingram improves to 6-1-0. It's ridiculous how the win-loss record of Ingram versus Vamelka is so different and such a big gap between the two goalies. Not this well, Ingram is playing better, but it's not to say the Coyotes play so much better in front of Ingram than Vamelka. They play almost basically the same. The Coyotes have been seesawing in front of their goalies for a while here, yet Ingram 6-1-0 and Vamelka I think 2-5-2. The Coyotes go on a penalty kill near the end of the first period, and Moser drops to his knees to save a goal. Dursey will replicate that at the end of the game as well. So we leave the first period tied 0-0. The Columbus Blue Jackets did outshoot the Coyotes 9-0 in the last 9 minutes of the first period. So after that good start of a couple good shifts, the Coyotes kind of let their foot off the gas. That penalty really didn't help, gave some momentum to the Blue Jackets. So we go into the second period. The Coyotes on another penalty kill, transitioning from the first period to second period, and Hayden had the best chance shorthanded, sort of on a partial breakaway, drives the net. Elvis saves it, and then Hayden will get another chance shortly after that. As soon as the penalty expired, Columbus made it 1-0. It didn't count as a power play goal, so the Coyotes were perfect on a penalty kill. But right after that goal, the Columbus Blue Jackets got to make it 1-0. Hayden had a point-blank one-timer. Unfortunately, it was saved. Coyotes go on a power play. They fail at it. Cooley had a nice toe drag shot, but then he also turned it over and caused a 2-on-1 the other way. And then after that failed power play, Hayden finally scores after a couple great chances to start the second period. Assisted from Dumba and Kesselring. So like I said, they got better as the game went on. Kesselring just threw the puck on the net, hits a Blue Jackets player, lays in front of Hayden. He shoots it in. He injures himself on the celebration, but he didn't really celebrate. He kind of collided with a Blue Jackets player and fell after scoring. Maybe he landed on his wrist. He was laboring about his wrist on the bench. He went into the locker room and he didn't return for the game. And then right after that, Michelli gets a shot deflected into his mouth. Not as serious as Valimaki's slap shot to the face, but he was bleeding. He lost a lot of teeth. Didn't look good. He didn't return to the game either. So you're out without Hayden and Michelli, two really good players who could put the puck in the net, who can make great plays and make your top six potent offensively. So they got to replace them. Boyd moves up to the top line with Keller and Schmaltz. I know a lot of people wanted Cooley, but if you had a chance to keep one line intact, you should go that route, and that's what Andre Tourigny did. He kept the third line intact with Carcone, Cooley, and Zucker. And then Kerfoot joined the line of Krause and Bukestad. That line looked pretty good. So maybe, hopefully not Michelli's not injured, but if he is, Kerfoot looked really good with Krause and Bukestad. Columbus with a couple chances after the Arizona goal, but Arizona ended the second period with more momentum and they outshot the Blue Jackets 15-7. So both teams had their good periods so far. Columbus with the first, Arizona with the second period. We go into the third period at the start, just like Hayden at the start of the second. Kerfoot had a great one-time point-blank chance that was saved. Teams trading chances. Both teams were desperate for a win. It was a good seesaw of momentum. It was usually one team getting all the chances, then the other team would have their chance, and it never really was one team totally dominating for very long stretches. It was like a couple shifts, one team moving back to the other team. The Coyotes had to have a huge penalty kill in the middle of the third period. Dumba gets called for interference. Maybe a bit weak for my liking, but not going to really complain. A huge penalty kill there. Tied 1-1 in the third period. About 12 minutes left in the game. On the road, so the home team with the power play, the fans wanted to see another goal and just break this game open, end their 6-game losing streak. But the Coyotes kill it off. They go on their own power play and they score immediately. Cooley gets the goal, assisted by Dursey and Keller. Great to see Cooley get a goal. But again, on the power play, seems 5-on-5, just that Cooley, Zucker, Carcone line, they struggle to get things going. I know they had a good shift in the first period, literally to start the game, but other than that, really hard to notice them being offensively potent throughout this game, 5-on-5. And then after the Coyotes make it 2-1 on that power play, they score on the next 5-on-5 shift. Krause, Bukestad just rushes behind the net, hits the Columbus player, gets the loose puck, and feeds Krause point blank. Again, a one-timer past Elvis, makes it 3-1. Elation. I was so happy to see that puck go in the net. Two quick goals. Pretty much like 7 minutes left in the game. You got a 2-goal lead. I was loving it. I'm like, there's no way the Coyotes could blow this. And then Keller hits a crossbar after that goal to make it 3-1. And then Ingram had a huge big save. He had a toe save on a Columbus Blue Jackets player. And then, about 3 minutes left in the game, 2 minutes left in the game, the Columbus Blue Jackets score, make it 3-2, and then they got another good chance after that to tie the game, but Dursey fell to his knees and blocked the open net chance, and Coyotes win. 3-2, 7 straight games with a power play goal. I will say, I do think their power play is keeping this team afloat, maybe a bit inflating their numbers, but honestly, this team has been desperate for a good power play for so long that I'm not complaining. And it makes sense they have a really good power play. They got 2 really good power play units for the first time in so long. Their first unit is so good with the top line, Dursey and Cooley. Just having a really good power play, getting that extra goal just makes the game so much easier, and it really shows how you could start winning games by just scoring that one goal on a power play to take some of the pressure off 5-on-5. You get a couple 5-on-5 goals, you get 3 goals in a game, and you usually win more games than you lose when you get over 3 goals per game. 46% on the faceoffs could have been a bit better, but it was much better than in Dallas where it was below 40%. Like I said, power play 1 for 2, perfect on the penalty kill, and they were outshot 41-32. So for me, they eclipsed that 30 shot total and way go past the trend of 25 shots per game they've been having the past 6 games. See how easy it is? Shoot more than 30 shots and you'll win the game. The 41 shots, it's really high for me, but most of those shots came late in the first period where the Blue Jackets outshot the Coyotes 9-0, and then in the third period they outshot the Coyotes 17-8. The Coyotes really went defensive mode and lockdown mode after they got the 2-goal lead and make it 3-1, and Columbus just kept firing everything they could at the net. Thankfully, Ingram stood tall, made the saves he had to. The defense was really good. They were desperate, blocking shots, clearing the puck out, blocking lanes, and doing everything they could to get the win, and a big win. And it's going to be a battle Saturday against Winnipeg. It's going to be against a really good team. They struggled against Winnipeg in their first meeting, and the team, I believe they're tied in points right now at 18 points. So, the Saturday's a big game. Just if the Coyotes could win that game and leapfrog over Winnipeg, we'll see how St. Louis does tonight. They have their own game. Coyotes could really put themselves in a great position if they beat Winnipeg in regulation and get those 2 points. I know they won't because they usually make things harder for themselves. It's never easy with the Coyotes. And we'll see with the injuries with Hayden and Michelli. If they're both out against Winnipeg and you add to that list I already mentioned, that could be a really tough game, and we'll see what call-ups we get. We might see, a Gunther call-up if Michelli is out. I believe Michelli and Hayden will be back. They won't miss a game, but if they don't have Michelli, that second line wing position, that should be Gunther's spot if Michelli can't go against Winnipeg. So that's it for me. Just thankful for a big win and just a really great performance by the Coyotes. And hopefully they continue it and they just keep it going right here. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.